Hey everyone, I'm Joanne Hughes. I'm a lifestyle strategist and the creator of the Rockstar Parenting video course. My passion is to demystify Ayurveda for parents because I believe the secret to our children's health and well-being lies in a dosha, and I'm going to explain to you what a dosha is in just a moment. I want to start with telling you a little bit of my background and giving you my story of how I found Ayurveda. And then I want to talk to you about what is Ayurveda and explain a dosha to you. So I worked in the field of domestic violence for 20 plus years as child support counselor. And very early on in my life, I started to see the limitations out there with Western medicine. I learned that at quite a young age. And what I started to see within the first 2 years of working in the shelter, which, was really an eye opener for me, was that when a when a parent left her relationship and ended up coming into a shelter, the children most often would begin to react. So some, they'd get hyper aggressive. Uh, they may have, like, some of them may have like irritability, frustration. Some may have went the other way and kind of got really quiet, lethargic, depressed, and the mother would take them to the doctor within the first week of coming to the shelter. And then um, and then what would happen is that that child would usually come back more often than not with Ritalin. And I really started to feel quite alarmed at the beginning of working in the shelters because, if you really think about it, you have a family coming from an abusive home where, it's probably taken years for the dysfunction at home to have happened to bring the mother finally into a shelter. And, the incident that brought her into the shelter could have been going on for a week, days. And we don't know when a mother enters a shelter what all has happened at home. So that child is coming into a new place, leaving their home, leaving their family, possibly their pet, their dad, into a place that's unknown, and a child is going to react to that. So I started noticing that, and um, it just became really alarming that there was this huge gap, that when a parent would bring a child to a doctor and said, my child's acting out, my child's being aggressive, that the doctor didn't have the time to ask the questions about, well, when did these behaviors start? Was there anything going on at home that's changed? Anything in their diet that's changed? Any of those questions. Also, doctors don't have the training when it comes to domestic violence either. So there was just real red flags that went up with me in the field, or in our Western medicine. And I mean, I do want to say I'm not slamming Western medicine. Doctors are great, and they're always there for us when we have emergencies and when we really need. Um, so, there was that was starting to happen. And then throughout my career, early in my career, as a crisis counselor, child support counselor, I started having my own medical crisis happening, where I just started having, little symptoms that would pop up, digestive issues, allergies, fatigue. And then that stuff really increased. And then I had such overwhelming fatigue. It was so hard for me to just make it through one shift. Excuse me. And then, I had plantar fasciitis, um, the allergies, I said, the digestive issues, slow metabolism. I started experiencing panic and anxiety, and then even full-blown panic attacks. And so I really started to question what was different, what was changing for me. Um, And so started doing a lot of research, a lot of reading. I actually at one point left my career, moved my children to a tiny town of 335 people. And at that time, my seeking of nutrition and lifestyle and trying to figure out what was going on with my body, I was able to meet a wonderful circle of wise women that were so knowledgeable in nutrition and diet and different healing modalities and superfoods and adaptogens. And it opened up a whole new world for me. And I came across Ayurveda and absolutely fell in love and am currently enrolled to become an Ayurvedic practitioner. And I'm so excited about that. It just, everything made sense. My children made sense, my family, my friends, everyone around me made a lot of sense. I just began to see things in such a different way. So that's a little bit about my story that I wanted to be able to share with you. And, I just wanted to say as well that for children, in thinking about when the kids came into the shelter, sometimes there was family and there's, let's say, four children in that family, and maybe two of those children get diagnosed with the same uh, disorder and are given the same medications. And that just didn't seem right. Because our children are so unique. They're so special. Each child is so different. Um, some kids are seem so wise, right? They love to talk, and others are quiet and really sweet and caring. And some are just so wild and adventurous and love to, do drama and play sword fighting or run outside. And really, every child is so different. And all of these things really came into play when I was working at the shelter and then going through my own health crisis, which brought me on this path that I'm on, which makes it so exciting to be able to teach parents about it. Okay, so I kind of want to leave all the little stories out and stuff like that, um, because I really want to be able to start with Ayurveda. And so Ayurveda is an ancient healing system, and it dates back to 5,000 years, and it originates in India. Ayurveda literally means the science of life. Ayur meaning science, and Veda meaning life. Another way it was described to me was the science of how we experience living. And that one really connected with me, and I really, really love that one. And the reason why I love that one, because again, in understanding and having a really deep understanding that each and every one of us are different, that none of us are the same, including our children. It really, when you think about it, the science of how we experience living. I know I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, even about this, is that in the sun, I feel so lethargic. I'll get so tired, and the energy just seems to drain from me if I'm in the sun. Although I love the summer and I love the sunshine, I need to be by a body of water and then I'm fine. Whereas it thrives in the sun. Her energy goes up, and she, has tons of energy in the summer. So very different people. So in Ayurveda, they talk about that. And in Ayurveda, they talk about the five elements in nature being in all living things. So the five elements in nature, which are air, fire, water, earth, and space or ether, those five elements are inside of us. Now, truly, if you sat for a moment and thought about all of those five characteristics, you would really be able to, when you think about it, it would totally make sense to you. It did to me, but especially hearing about it. So, the five elements in nature being in each one of us. So in Ayurveda, they talk about a dosha. So a dosha is sometimes referred to the body-mind connection and refers to the mental, emotional, and physical connections within the body. And so a dosha has it corresponds to a biological process within the body as well. And when elements of that dosha go either up or down, that's when they say the dosha's out of balance. So I want to quickly just go over the three doshas for you as time is running out here. But the first one is Vata. So Vata dosha is governed or is associated with elements of air and space. So it governs movement, communication, and creativity. So movement as in the eye flutters, the heart beating, movement of arms and legs, movement of air in the body and the space. Think of indigestion, digestion, assimilation. Think of those kinds of things. But also is the top part. It's governed by the communication center, the brain to the body. And so people that are dominant in Vata tend to have a thin build, dry skin, cold hands and feet. They also may experience anxiety, restlessness, difficulty sleeping. Vata types are often creative and imaginative and a quick mind and love change and new experiences. But when Vata is out of balance, it can lead to physical and mental imbalances such as constipation, joint pain, anxiety disorders. Think about autumn and winter. So, in autumn and winter, those seasons are cold, and in Ayurveda, they say like increases like. And to balance, you do the opposite. So, in autumn and winter, cold goes up. So therefore vata increases. So in the winter is you're going to find that your vata children will be agitated. It stirs up the energy within them, and then they may have overwhelming emotions, fatigue, physical discomfort during those seasons. There's also pitta. So pitta dosha is associated with the elements of fire and water. The pitta is the body's metabolic system. It governs digestion, absorption, assimilation, nutrition, body temperature, metabolism. So when pitta's balanced, children are so energetic. They're leaders. They're free thinkers. They're forward. They have no problem speaking their truth. So, but Pitta, what Pitta children need help with more is to self-soothe and to learn to calm down. So when Pitta is out of balance, you may see signs of itchy skin, anger, and restlessness. And Pitta would be aggravated or triggered within the summer because um, because Pitta has elements of fire. So in the summer, that Pitta element of fire rises, and then your child will become out of balance. So then the next dosha is Kapha dosha. And Kapha dosha is associated with elements of earth and water. Kapha forms body structure, bones, muscles, and tendons. Kapha is what keeps the cells formed and together and is responsible for the formation of the cells and the nutrients getting to the cells. Um, Yeah, it's and also responsible for the water system in the body. So it lubricates, maintains immunity in the body. It's responsible for a strong immunity. Kapha children, you're usually going to see they're very kind. The salt of the earth is usually how they're um, referred to as. They're very happy-go-lucky, very grounded individuals. Their body frame's going to be a little bit more stockier. Their skin will be a little plumper, more rosy. Um, Okay. So, and when cough is out of balance, you might see more attachment issues and more laziness. So, um, okay, so I want to be able to then, I told you, so Ayurveda, again, telling you Ayurveda is the oldest healing system. Ayurveda definitely places its focus and attention on prevention and maintenance of one's overall health and looks at five principles of living, and they are balance of life, right thinking, right diet, right lifestyle, and right herbs. So, Ayurveda empowers parents to understand their child's unique constitution, to balance body, mind, and consciousness of their children for optimal health. It truly is a lifestyle and a way to manage stress, health, wellness, and diet in their families. And the doshas play a magical role in the health and well-being of your child. And really, the way when we begin to understand the doshas and know what elements are within those doshas, when we start to see, whether it's our child getting more congested in their sinuses, feeling sluggish, maybe their thinking slowing down. It could even be things like disease within the skin, eczema, psoriasis, things like that, the anxiousness, the panic attacks, all of the mood disorders. When we start to see those things out of balance, we know that there's those elements, which is their dosha out of balance. And the way that we bring those back into balance is by doing the opposite. And that could be changing their nutrition, changes in their lifestyle, changes in the spices that you give them, drinks. There's ways that you can go into your fridge and your cupboard and look after them and heal them by balancing those doshas. I'm going over time here, so I want to wrap that up. And I just want to say, thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would like the link to the Rockstar Parenting Program, which goes over this in more detail, um, please just let me know and I will send you the link. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great day.